Dark Mysteries of Our World, a journey into the unknown. The world we live in is vast, beautiful, and full of wonder. But beneath the light of our everyday lives, there lies a hidden world of shadows, an endless realm of dark mysteries, chilling legends, and terrifying truths that whisper to us through the silence of the night. Tonight, we embark on a 2-hour journey into this shadowed world. A journey where every story pulls you deeper into the unknown, where fact blurs with legend, and where the line between life and death becomes frighteningly thin. From the haunted forests of Europe to the cursed temples of Asia, from ghostly ships lost at sea to the endless deserts hiding secrets older than humanity itself, we will wander, we will listen, and we will fear. These are not mere stories, but echoes of something far greater, darker, and more real than we dare to admit. Are you ready? Then sit back, let the lights dim, and allow the darkness to guide us. The Black Forest of Germany. Deep in the heart of Germany lies a place of beauty and dread, the Schwarzwald, or the Black Forest. By day, it is breathtaking, dense pines, moss-covered rocks, and streams that sparkle like silver threads. But when night falls, a suffocating darkness consumes the woods, and the forest transforms into a realm of nightmares. Locals tell of the Tatzelworm, a serpent-like beast with piercing eyes and venomous breath, said to lurk among the shadows. Travelers wandering too far from the beaten paths have vanished without a trace. Their belongings later found scattered near strange claw marks carved deep into trees. But legends here run darker still. In the 1500s, villagers whispered about a hooded figure known only as Der Grossman, the tall man. Children claimed to see him watching from between the trees, arms impossibly long, face hidden in shadow. When children disappeared, their families often found drawings nailed to the trunks of pines, stick figures with exaggerated limbs reaching for smaller figures. One chilling story speaks of a woodcutter's daughter. She vanished one evening while playing near the forest edge. For days, her family searched, calling her name, leaving offerings of bread and milk. Weeks later, she returned, pale, silent, her eyes empty. She never spoke again. Some said she had seen the tall man. Others whispered she had followed him. Even now, hikers report hearing footsteps behind them, though no one is there. Some describe whispers in forgotten dialects carried by the wind, while others speak of lights moving between the trees like wandering souls. The Black Forest is not merely haunted, it is alive with ancient secrets. And those who dare to enter must ask themselves one question. Will they return unchanged or return at all? The island of Dolls, Mexico. South of Mexico City, hidden within the tangled canals of Xochimilco, lies one of the most unsettling places on Earth, La Isla de las Muñecas, the Island of Dolls. From afar, it looks almost beautiful. Hundreds of dolls hang from the trees, their cracked porcelain faces staring blankly into the distance, their hair tangled with moss, their limbs slowly decaying in the humid air. But step closer, and the beauty crumbles into horror. Their eyes follow you, their smiles twist, their presence feels alive. The story begins with a man named Don Julian Santana. In the 1950s, Julian retreated to this remote island. He claimed he had found the body of a drowned girl floating in the canal. Days later, a doll surfaced in the water. Believing it belonged to the girl, he hung the doll from a tree, hoping to appease her spirit. But the whispers did not stop. Strange cries echoed across the canals. Footsteps shuffled among the reeds. To protect himself, Julian hung more dolls, one after another, until the island itself became a shrine of lifeless eyes. Visitors say the dolls whisper at night. Their heads turn on their own. Their limbs shift in the corner of your vision. Some claim they have seen the drowned girl walking among the trees, her wet hair dripping as she stares at the offerings meant for her. In 2001, Julian himself was found dead, floating in the same waters where the girl had drowned decades before. Some believe the spirit had finally claimed him. Others insist the dolls themselves had awakened. Today, the island of dolls remains, creepy, silent, and yet never truly still. Tourists visit, but few stay long. From the heart of Xochimilco, the dolls are always watching. Aokigahara, the suicide forest of Japan. At the base of Mount Fuji lies a forest so thick, so unnervingly quiet, that it feels like stepping into another world. Its name is Aokigahara, though it is more often called the suicide forest. By day, the trees stand tall and beautiful, their roots twisting over hardened volcanic rock. But step inside, and the air shifts. The forest swallows sound. Even birds seem to avoid it. Compasses fail here, spinning endlessly as if lost. It is said the land itself resists human presence. For centuries, Aokigahara has been tied to death. In ancient times, when famine gripped Japan, the practice of ubisut, abandoning the elderly to die, was said to have taken place here. Ghosts of the abandoned are believed to linger still, their cries echoing among the trees. But in the modern era, the forest gained an even darker name. Hundreds of people have ended their lives here, leaving behind notes, shoes, and belongings scattered like ghosts of their final moments. The government places signs along the paths your life is a precious gift. Think of your family, but the forest is patient. It waits. Those who wander too far from the trail sometimes report strange phenomena. Whispers calling their name, shadows moving in the distance, a sudden, overwhelming urge to step deeper, as if something is guiding them. Survivors speak of white figures, pale, faceless, almost human, watching silently from between the trees. Legends say these are eerie, restless spirits trapped between worlds, luring the living to join them. One story tells of a man who spent 3 nights lost in the forest. Each night, he awoke to find himself surrounded by figures in white, swaying gently as if breathing. On the 3rd night, he awoke outside the forest, alive but forever haunted. He swears he can still hear them when he closes his eyes. Even now, police and volunteers patrol the forest, searching for those who vanish. Some are saved, others are not, and Aokigahara continues to grow. The cursed village of Kuldhara, India. In the heart of Rajasthan, India, lies a barren ruin where silence reigns eternal. This place is called Kuldhara, a deserted village said to be cursed, abandoned overnight more than 200 years ago. The story begins in the 13th century, when Kuldhara was a thriving home to the Paliwal Brahmins, known for their wisdom and prosperity. But prosperity often attracts envy, and in the 1800s, the village caught the attention of Salim Singh, a powerful and ruthless minister of the region. Singh desired the daughter of the village chief and demanded her hand in marriage. His threats were clear. If denied, he would seize her by force. The people of Kuldhara faced an impossible choice. To save their honor and protect their daughter, the villagers gathered under the cover of night. And in a decision that echoes through history, they abandoned Kuldhara. Every man, woman, and child vanished, leaving food still cooking on stoves, water still filled in pots. Before leaving, they cast a terrible curse. No one would ever live in Kuldhara again. Any who tried would meet death and despair. Centuries passed, but the village never revived. Travelers who dared to sleep within its crumbling walls spoke of shadows moving across empty courtyards, of phantom whispers echoing through the night, of unseen hands pressing on their chests as they slept. Some saw the figure of a young woman in traditional attire, her face hidden, walking silently under the desert moon. Archaeologists who came to study the site reported sudden nausea, fainting spells, and a feeling of being watched. Even today, the government has forbidden overnight stays in Kuldhara. The ruins remain untouched, locked in time, watched over by unseen eyes. The curse has never been broken, and perhaps it never will. The ghost ship Mary Celeste. Far from the deserts of India, across the endless Atlantic, another mystery drifts upon the waves. A story of a ship called the Mary Celeste, found adrift in 1872. She was discovered by the crew of the day, Grazia, floating aimlessly between Portugal and the Azores. The ship was in perfect condition. The sails were intact, the cargo of alcohol untouched, and even food lay neatly in the galley. But the crew, every last soul, had vanished. There were no signs of struggle, no blood, no evidence of piracy. It was as if the sailors had simply stepped off the deck into the sea and disappeared. Speculation ran wild. Some believed they were attacked by sea monsters, dragged into the deep by unseen horrors. Others thought they had fled in fear of an explosion, abandoning ship for lifeboats that never reached shore. But strangest of all were the logbook entries. The final note made no mention of danger, only routine observations of weather and course. The mystery deepens with the captain's belongings, his sword left behind, his log carefully closed, and the crew's clothes still neatly folded in their chests. It was not the scene of chaos, but of sudden absence. Sailors whispered that the ship was cursed. Some claimed to see ghostly figures pacing its deck long after it was brought to port. One account tells of a dock worker who boarded the Mary Celeste only to flee minutes later, screaming of voices whispering in languages he did not understand. The ship sailed again, under new captains, but misfortune always followed. Runs ended in disaster, crews mutinied, and eventually the Mary Celeste was deliberately wrecked off the coast of Haiti for insurance fraud. Yet her story lives on, an empty ship on the waves, forever sailing, forever asking, where did they go? The catacombs of Paris. Beneath the streets of Paris, where tourists wander among cafes and cathedrals, lies another world, one built of stone, silence, and bones. This is the Paris Catacombs, a labyrinth stretching for more than 200 miles, lined with the skeletal remains of over 6 million souls. It began in the late 18th century, when Paris faced overflowing cemeteries. The dead, packed into shallow graves, threatened disease and unrest. To solve the crisis, workers moved the bones beneath the city, stacking skulls and femurs into haunting arrangements along narrow corridors. But the catacombs became more than a burial site. They became a place of mystery, a space where the living and the dead seemed to overlap. Those who descend speak of whispers echoing through the tunnels, though no other footsteps can be heard. Some report music faintly playing, as if from another era, drifting between the stones. Explorers claim to see shadowy figures at the edge of their lantern light, vanishing as they approach. One legend tells of a man named Philibert Espert, a doorkeeper during the French Revolution. In 1793, he ventured into the catacombs with only a candle. Days later, his body was found, lost deep within the tunnels. His cause of death was not starvation, nor injury, but terror itself. His skeleton still lies there, marked by a plaque, as if warning others who wander too far. Modern urban explorers, called cataphiles, venture into forbidden sections of the catacombs. Some never return. Police who patrol the underground sometimes hear voices calling their names, only to find no one there. Even stranger are the stories of cameras found deep within the tunnels, footage still intact, showing someone walking alone until the camera falls suddenly to the ground. The final moments are nothing but darkness and the sound of heavy breathing. The catacombs are a city of the dead, and perhaps, for those who venture too far, they are waiting for new residents. The Dyatlov Pass incident. In the frozen wilderness of the Ural Mountains in Russia lies a mystery unsolved for over 60 years. It is called the Dyatlov Pass incident. In February 1959, 9 experienced hikers led by Igor Dyatlov set out to conquer the snowy peaks. They never returned. Weeks later, search teams found their abandoned tent, slashed open from the inside. The hikers' belongings remained, but the team had fled barefoot into the snow. Their bodies were discovered scattered across the mountainside. Some were frozen to death in thin clothing, but others bore injuries no storm could explain. Skull fractures, chest wounds, and internal trauma as if crushed by an immense force. One woman was missing her eyes, another, her tongue. Yet there were no signs of struggle with other humans. Theories flourished. Some believe an avalanche forced them to flee. Others spoke of secret Soviet experiments, radiation burns, and weapons testing gone wrong. Strangers still were reports of glowing orange orbs in the sky that night, seen by witnesses miles away. But perhaps the most unsettling detail. Investigators noted that the hiker's skin carried a faint trace of radiation. How could this be in the middle of a snowy wilderness? Over decades, theories only deepened. Aliens, government conspiracies, paranormal forces. The truth remains locked in ice. In 2019, Russian authorities officially concluded that an avalanche was responsible. But mountaineers challenged the explanation, saying the terrain showed no such evidence. And so the questions remain, why did trained hikers slash open their own tent? Why run half-dressed into sub-zero temperatures? And what force could break bones without leaving external marks? The Dyatlov Pass has become a place of silence, snow, and unanswered questions. To this day, travelers who visit speak of an uneasy presence. The mountain seems to whisper as if it remembers. And somewhere in the cold, the truth still waits. The Bermuda Triangle. Between Miami, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico lies a vast stretch of ocean known across the world as the Bermuda Triangle. Sailors call it the Devil's Triangle, a place where compasses spin, radios fail, and ships vanish without leaving a single trace. For centuries, this region has swallowed vessels whole. Christopher Columbus himself, on his first voyage in 1492, wrote of strange lights dancing on the horizon and his compass behaving erratically as he sailed through. One of the most famous disappearances occurred in 1945 when Flight 19, a squadron of 5 U.S. Navy bombers, vanished during a routine training mission. The pilots reported that their instruments were failing, their compasses spinning, their sense of direction lost. Radio messages captured their growing panic before the transmission fell silent. Neither the planes nor the crew were ever found. To make the mystery deeper, a rescue plane sent to search for them also vanished. But ships, too, have met their fate. The USS Cyclops, a massive Navy cargo ship carrying over 300 men, disappeared without a distress signal in 1918. To this day, no wreckage has been discovered. Theories swirl like the waves themselves. Some blame violent storms and unpredictable waters. Others suggest magnetic anomalies or undersea methane eruptions. But stranger theories propose time warps, alien abductions, or portals to other worlds hidden beneath the ocean. Sailors claim to see glowing fogs, sudden rogue waves, and lights that flicker beneath the water as if something vast stirs below. Pilots report their planes flying into clouds that seem alive, their clocks malfunctioning as though time itself bends. The Bermuda Triangle remains unsolved, an open wound in the ocean. Perhaps its victims lie in wreckage at the bottom of the sea, or perhaps they have slipped into another reality entirely. The lost city of Roanoke. Off the coast of North Carolina lies one of the greatest mysteries of early America, the lost colony of Roanoke. In 1587, more than 100 settlers arrived from England, led by Governor John White. They established a colony on Roanoke Island, carving out homes, planting crops, and raising families in the New World. But when White returned to England for supplies, storms and war delayed his return for 3 long years. When he finally came back in 1590, the colony was gone. Houses stood empty. Fortifications were dismantled. There were no bodies, no signs of battle. Only one clue carved into a post. The word Croatoan. What happened to the colonists? Some believe they assimilated with nearby native tribes, vanishing into their culture. Others think they were slaughtered by rival tribes or Spanish raiders. But no conclusive evidence has ever been found. Even more unsettling are the stories of supernatural forces. Some say the settlers were cursed by the spirits of the land, their souls claimed by something older than the colonies themselves. Local legends tell of lights in the sky, strange sicknesses, and voices in the woods calling settlers into the dark, never to return. For centuries, archaeologists have searched for answers. Artifacts have surfaced, tools, pottery, coins, but none prove what happened. Every theory is shadowed by silence. Some modern historians argue that starvation and disease forced the colonists to leave. But why leave no trace? Why dismantle their own fortifications as if leaving willingly? And what of the word croton? Was it a direction, a warning, or a final desperate prayer? The fate of Roanoke is etched into American history as a question mark, a colony that vanished as if the earth itself had swallowed it whole. The curse of Tutankhamun's tomb. In 1922, British archaeologist Howard Carter uncovered one of the greatest discoveries in history, the nearly intact tomb of Pharaoh Tutankhamun in Egypt's Valley of the Kings. The world was astonished. Gold, treasures, and artifacts untouched for millennia lay hidden in the desert sands. But with this discovery came whispers of a curse. Above the entrance, an inscription read, "Death shall come on swift wings to him who disturbs the peace of the king." At first, Carter dismissed it as superstition. Yet soon after, death followed. Lord Carnarvon, the expedition sponsor, was bitten by a mosquito. The bite became infected, and he died weeks later, on the very day the tomb was open to the public. His death was sudden and mysterious, and rumors spread like wildfire. Newspapers around the world spoke of the pharaoh's curse, but he was not the only one. Others connected to the tomb's opening died in strange ways: poisonings, fevers, unexplained accidents. A total of more than 20 deaths were linked to those who disturbed Tutankhamun's rest. Skeptics argue it was coincidence or bacteria sealed within the tomb for centuries. But believers claim the young pharaoh's spirit reached out in wrath, punishing those who dared to break into his eternal chamber. Stranger still, electrical blackouts occurred in Cairo the moment the tomb was unsealed. Carter's pet canary was killed by a cobra, a symbol of Egyptian royalty, On the same day, the first chamber was opened. Locals whispered that the gods themselves had sent a warning. The treasures of Tutankhamun rest now in museums, but the fear remains. For those who look upon the golden mask of the boy king, there lingers a question. Is it a relic of history, or a reminder of a curse that never dies? The Winchester Mystery House. In San Jose, California, stand a mansion unlike any other, the Winchester Mystery House. Its halls twist endlessly, staircases climb into ceilings, and doors open into walls or drop straight to the ground below. It is a house built by fear. The story begins with Sarah Winchester, widow of William Wirt Winchester, heir to the Winchester rifle fortune. After her husband and infant daughter died, Sarah fell into despair. She sought guidance from a spiritualist who told her she was cursed, haunted by the countless souls killed by Winchester rifles. The only way to escape their vengeance, the medium said, was to build a house. Not just any house, but one that must never be completed. If she continued building, the spirits would be appeased. If she stopped, they would claim her life. And so, Sarah built. For 38 years, construction never ceased. Carpenters worked day and night, adding staircases that led nowhere, secret doors, twisting hallways, and windows that looked into other rooms. She believed the confusing design would trap the spirits, keeping them from finding her. Visitors report an overwhelming presence in the house. Footsteps echo when no one walks. Cold spots appear in empty rooms. Shadows flicker in corners where no light shines. Some claim to see a small figure in black, believed to be Sarah herself, wandering through her endless maze. Even today, the house remains a riddle of wood and glass. Tourists wander its 160 rooms, feeling the chill of something unseen. Guides tell of tools vanishing, doors slamming shut, and whispers drifting through the halls. The Winchester House is not just haunted. It is a labyrinth of fear, a physical manifestation of guilt and grief. Perhaps Sarah's construction never truly ended. Perhaps the spirits still walk its halls, searching, waiting, whispering. Hoia Baciu Forest, Romania, gateway to the unknown. In the heart of Romania lies a forest known as Hoia Baciu, a place where reality seems to bend and the boundary between the living and the unknown dissolves. Often called the Bermuda Triangle of Transylvania, this forest is infamous for its paranormal activity, unexplained phenomena, and strange disappearances. The forest is dense, its trees twisted into grotesque shapes, with large clearings that appear as perfect circles on satellite images. Many visitors report a sudden feeling of nausea, dizziness, or extreme anxiety when entering. Electronics fail, compasses spin wildly, and animals refuse to enter. One story tells of Emil Barnia, a local shepherd who disappeared for 3 days while tending his flock. When he returned, he was disoriented, speaking incoherently, claiming he had walked into another world where shadows moved independently and the trees whispered secrets no human should hear. Others recount strange lights hovering above the forest at night, appearing as multicolored orbs that dart between the trees, vanishing when approached. Hikers sometimes feel unseen hands touch them, hear laughter with no source, or see shadowy figures lurking just beyond the path of their flashlight. In 1968, a team of researchers documented Hoia Baciu with cameras and sensors, hoping to capture anomalies. Photos showed orbs, blurred figures, and inexplicable fog. Some images revealed what appeared to be human shapes, though no people were present. Locals warn, never enter the forest alone, Never stay after dark, and never take the path of curiosity too far. Many who ignore these warnings return, changed forever. Their eyes carry an emptiness. Their words speak of events that defy logic. Some never return at all. Hoya Bachu Forest remains one of the last gateways to the unknown on Earth. It is a place where the mind, the soul, and reality itself can be tested. And perhaps some secrets are not meant to be discovered.